I never know what book to read. I got a lot of choices. I haven't read this one in a while. I like it. I need to read this one because I told someone I would and review it. But I'm not in the mood for that. Ooh, here's a movie I need to watch. It's from Netflix. You know, I hear if you head over to netflix.com/iFanboy, you get a 2-week free trial. There's no late fees, no delivery fees. It's a pretty sweet deal. So I should probably watch that. Man, if I just had a book that talked about GoDaddy.com, I'd have this promo done. Hey, wait a minute. I just did it myself. GoDaddy.com, and the promo's done. Well, I mean, if you head over there and you enter a coupon code iFanboy, you get 10% off your purchases. I still need to find a book to read, though.
And for my next trick, I'm going to juggle these 3 books.
No!
Stop!
No! Julie! This one is signed by me. iFanboy, the video podcast from the comic book discussion site iFanboy.com.
And you just feel like dancing.
I get a little bit. Well, when somebody else dances, I'm like,
Yeah.
And that's worse than us shirtless.
I'm Ron.
I'm Connor.
I'm Josh, but here's Connor.
That was awful. You know how occasionally we like to talk about books?
Comic books.
Some days.
Or once
But
a
part
week.
of it is that we want to take this opportunity to
Share the love of books that we...
to expose you to some comics you might not have heard of and not get arrested after we expose ourselves.
Yeah. Awkward. Ron always goes down the path too far to the left.
Over the line.
So the first book I want to talk about is from Oni Press.
Oni.
Oni Press. Oni? Oni?
Oni.
Oni?
Oni.
Oni.
Oni. Ali oxen free.
Oni?
Oni.
Are we sure?
Oh
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? How do we know
Well, they've been around for years.
Yeah.
So we called Kurt Busiek's name wrong for years.
Yeah, we did actually.
It's Oni.
I'm pretty sure it's Oni.
All right.
I've never heard anybody say Oni but
It
you.
can't be Ani?
No. Sorry, it's Oni.
Like Ani DeFranco.
No, fuck her. You see that? A double meaning.
You did it again.
Oni Press.
Oni Press is the leading man from B. Claymore and Jeremy Haun. I first picked up, this is a trade paperback of the first 5 issues. I first bought this book last year at San Diego, 2 San Diegos ago, so 2 years ago. The first issue came out, I really liked it. I forgot completely about it.
Same thing happened to me. I bought the first issue in San Diego, and I made a point to tell my store owner to get the second issue. They never got it.
So recently I was in the comic book store, and I just happened to be walking down the aisle, and I caught my eye. I was like, oh, the collection, so good for me.
Yay.
I got the collection.
Yay, Connor. Was it good?
I really like this. The concept is interesting. Basically, the story is Nick Walker. Nick Walker is sort of, let's say 10 years ago, Tom Cruise. Like young action star, still very popular.
Mission Impossible 1?
Yeah, Mission Impossible 1 era Tom Cruise.
Okay.
He's also a super secret agent.
Wow.
He uses his movie star cover to go around the world.
You mean like George Clooney?
Yes, George Clooney's actually a secret agent.
That's what I was saying.
So the whole concept is he's an actor but also secret agent. He uses his cover as an actor to go around the world and do missions. His assistant is actually his tech guy. His makeup person is actually also support staff. And
So they're in on the...
his agent is actually his handler at the Secret Agent Society or whatever.
That's a great concept.
And so the agent gets some scripts for places that will take him to where they need him to go. Yeah. And then they use the money. He's the most popular actor in the world, so he uses that money to finance operations.
So he's an independent agent.
Well, there's an agency because there's also a counter agency, as there often are in these things.
The SD6.
Does he work for the U.S. government?
Yes, it's U.S. I can't remember if it's government, but because they don't really go deeply into the organization. It's mostly about this mission he's on. And
That's good, because you don't get lost.
And it goes wrong, and there's also some other people on the movie set that may also be secret agents, but it may not be on his side. And so it's basically it's a very simple mission, and as these simple missions often go, they go badly, and then he gets caught up in his co-star finds out who he is, and then
it'll be the worst spy story ever. Yeah. Now everything went off without a hitch.
Good job. Coffee time.
It's 8 pages.
Punch in, punch out.
But I really liked. First of all, the art for Jeffrey Haun is great. It's
Jeremy Haun.
Jeffrey Haun, Jeffrey Brown,
Jeffrey
Haun. Free association. Jeremy Haun is, if you can see, these guys can see even the art on the screen. The cover is realistic, but there's also it's very actiony, and it works. You know, it's. I almost didn't know it was Oni, you know, because it's not the book you kind of associate with Oni.
The art reminds me of almost like a Trevor Harrison, Stephen Niven, almost kind of like that kind of. You know, like the line work type thing. Yeah, so.
And it's very much not a book I associate with Oni Press.
Yeah.
Even though Oni Press does Queen of Country, which is the same sort of deal.
This had a different vibe than Queen of Country.
It's much more action. This is like high concept, big budget. This
action
is like
movie, yeah.
This is the kind of perfect kind of thing that you want to sell to a movie.
Why would one be a spy if you were already the biggest movie star in the world?
Because you feel an obligation to your country.
Well, no, I mean because the movie star is the movie star is a cover.
Was he a cover star?
Okay, so he was a spy first, and then the agency made him into a big star.
Yes.
It wasn't like he was a movie star, and then they
didn't recruit him. He's like he's always been a spy.
It's not like Confessions of a Dangerous Mind.
No.
Where he was recruited,
and he was not attractive at all. You ever see Chuck Barris in real life? Crazy hair.
So he wasn't like turned to a spy. It's not like he said stop being a movie star, be a spy. He was a spy.
Because I see your point. If I was a movie star, I'm not doing that. I'm not putting this face in the line of danger.
But also the thing is, like, he's very bored by being.
I'm a movie star in that role play.
Not.
You know what? I felt you meant it. I felt some sincerity. You were like, this face, and it was just like your eye was like, bling, love. I love me.
Well, he's very bored by being a movie star. What he finds exciting is putting on, the gear and the guns and going and doing that stuff. He's like, he can take or leave the acting.
All right.
But it's really fun. It's action. It's excitement. It's.
I'm glad you bought this. I'm glad you bought this because I bought the first issue and I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he dies. He doesn't die. Or does he?
It turns out he's his own mother.
Yes.
And he's in love with himself.
And she's a man.
But she's an evil spy.
I can't take the suspense.
There's literally a twist on every page.
All right, Josh, what do you got
Josh,
for
I
us?
think you're going in a different direction.
I'm also talking about a book from Oni.
Oni? Let's do that for 5 more minutes.
I think that's
I'm just going to drink this water and not do anything.
Is that vodka?
I'll never tell.
In a rapid departure of genre, this is the Northwest Passage by Scott
We
Chantler.
have much mouth today.
Is that by Oni?
Yes.
Oh, that's a very pretty package.
This is a collected version. It's also the annotated version. So
Nice.
like at the end there's
Always better.
Oh, what this is historical fiction about traders in Rupert's Land, which is around the Hudson Bay in Canada, in 1755. There's a fort. It's got fur traders. The English are fighting with the traders.
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 I
Not
thought you meant traitors, like.
No. Well,
all the suspense.
Is he a woman?
the book is largely about Charles Lord, who at an earlier point of his life before this story takes place was the most badass frontier explorer, fur trader, meet with the Indians, and he's been his big thing is he was always convinced there was a Northwest Passage.
There is now.
Well, there
It's all
wasn't.
melted.
There wasn't then, and everybody thought he was crazy. But as he gets older, he ends up as the governor of this fort, which I don't remember the name of.
Governor.
Fort Newcastle, where he lives. And as the story starts off, he's about to leave. He's going to go back to England and live, so that he can raise money to go find the Northwest Passage. But he doesn't tell anybody that. And there's a whole history that slowly comes out as you read through the book.
May I see this?
Yes. Basically, like the French come and attack, and then he has to gather the support of old friends who he had previously. Everybody's mad at him because he took
slept with them?
No, he took the desk job. He
gave up the action adventure lifestyle.
And he's like the most badass dude in the world. So he's got a son who is half Indian, and there's all sorts of family tension going on there. It's just a big, sprawling, epic story.
This is more what I think of when I think of Oni.
I don't because like it looks like it in cartoon form, but it's a fully realistic story.
No, that's what I mean. It's like more of the fictional. Like this is more comic booky.
Yeah.
This is more Oni, I think.
Yeah.
I find
It's
it hard
done.
to pigeonhole Oni, personally.
Yeah, I do
Scott
too.
Pilgrim?
Yeah, they're all over the place. Not unlike Top Shelf.
Yeah.
Scott Pilgrim is more of that than this.
Yeah.
And it's done very cartoony, but the rest of it's real. It very much, in the vein of like an action movie, a period action movie like Last of the Mohicans, or a movie that's better than The Patriot.
That's a lot of movies.
I know, it's true. Like if you can look at the sets of The Patriot and the costumes, and like if it was a good movie, right? A lot of love put into this book. It's a work of love.
So it's not as straight as like Journey to the Mohawk Country is.
No, not at all.
Put out by First Second Press, right?
Yes. It's very much. It's an action story. There's betrayal and old rivalries and sword fights and gunfights and cannon battles, but also family intrigue and just all of those things that sort of.
Is there a little romance? There's always got to be romance. Right?
There's not. There's some
it seems like a lifetime. I mean, it seems like it's collecting a lot of this guy's life.
No, it takes place over a short period of time.
Very adventurous.
But it comes back to figure out, like, there's a lot of mystery about who he is and what happened and why people are mad at him and what it was, and he's like the most badass. He's like like Jesse Custer, or like like he just kicks everybody's ass.
Jesse Custer from Preacher.
Yeah.
I don't know much, but I do know that iFanboy loves annotations.
Oh. Very much so. He goes through it and he talks about how he drew it, how he wrote it, how he put it together, how he researched it, all those things. It's not boring at all. He shows you, like things that he learned, he would have done differently. Those kind of things are really good for people who want to get involved in making comics, which is like 80% of people who read comics, I think. It's just one of those books that you tell that they really love doing it. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a movie at some point. Like, it's got that same kind of script and arc. And I wouldn't have heard about it except I read about it on the message boards of our place at some point. And I was going to buy it, but the issues or smaller volumes were out of print. And then this just came out this past summer as a nice big hardcover volume. This is
Love the hardcover volume.
It's $20. And, it's a great book.
How many pages?
4. So they're very thick.
There's a 1.
Over 200. Right, this is the first volume. There's going to be more.
Each one's like a fucking steak.
It's like those, when you were a kid and the books, the cardboard pages. Yeah. It ends without more can happen after it ends.
Well, yeah,
cool.
but
Like the story ends.
It's got a little 1 right
Yeah,
here.
yeah. It's the first volume. There's going to be more. I really dug
next 4
this.
pages.
Yeah. It's like Ultimate Vision.
Publishing.
No, that's cool. I definitely want to check that out. So.
This is a great book, and when I heard about it, I was excited, and when I bought it, I was excited, and after I read it, I was
disappointed.
I was not. I was not at all disappointed.
No, I think it looks really good. I'm gonna read that.
Big fan.
So for my pick in the show, I needed to balance the scales a little between the two of you. I mean, we had both from Oni. My pick is not from Oni. Both are, in indie kind of non-traditional comics. I went the more traditional route. JLA, JSA, Virtue and Vice. This is a hardcover that came out a couple years ago. I'm pretty sure it's been collected in a trade paperback since then. Yeah. But this is a single story.
It was original graphic novel.
Original graphic novel. And the reason why I remembered this was recently in the newly relaunched Justice League of America and Justice Society of America, the writers Brad Meltzer of Justice League and Geoff Johns of Justice Society, they did a big gold crossover. And when they were talking about it in the convention season and stuff like that, they were talking about, back in the day in the 50s and the 60s when the JLA and the JSA would cross over and it was an event that you could look forward to. We really want to bring that back. And it's been so long since we've done that or whatever. And I remember when they said that, I'm like, it hasn't been that long because they did it in this book. And in fact, Geoff Johns wrote it. But this is written by Geoff Johns and David S. Goyer. And David S. Goyer, you might know him. He's had a lot of success in Hollywood with the Blade movies.
Batman
Begins.
Yeah, he's a big old Hollywood guy. And actually, David S. Goyer and Geoff Johns, David S. Goyer launched the JSA book that Geoff Johns then
with James Robinson.
With James Robinson, and then Geoff Johns came on board. Now Geoff Johns writes it. And so Geoff Johns is a big wig in the DC universe, so he really has a handle on these characters. But this was done a few years ago when he was still getting a handle on the Justice Society, and it's kind of, he doesn't really write the Justice League that much. Now that he's writing Superman, he's a bit more closer to it. Mm-hmm. And it was drawn by Carlos Pacheco, who was one of my favorite artists in the late 90s, early 2000s. Been a little disappointed by his recent work. But this was really kind of the last thing I remember as being classic good Pacheco work. Pacheco, Avengers Forever was Pacheco.
Yes,
right.
Yes, love that.
Yeah.
And this is
No idea what happened in that book.
That's a whole nother show. So essentially, you know, this is the Justice League and the Justice Society have a long history of being, you know, friendly. You know, they get together for Thanksgiving, things like that. And you know, Green Lantern is in Justice League, and there's the original Green Lanterns in the JSA. Flash in the Flash. There's a lot of amalgams. You've got Mr. Terrific kind of in the background, who's a more prominent character now in Checkmate and stuff like that. This really has a lot of the groundwork of what is the DCU these days.
This was John's first run on JSA. He's had two, right? He had the one now that most people really like. We know the people we talk to on our boards really like it.
Yeah.
Then he had the one before that where he really got his feet wet. It was good, but not as good as it is now. This is very indicative of that. Like characters that Mr. Terrific is in there, but he's not as prominent as he would be now if this book came out now.
Exactly.
So this is really good JSA, JLA action.
Yeah. What it does is it plays upon the relationships of the characters, something that I really like, the legacy aspect. Of course, is a big threat. You know, the thing when two teams kind of cross over, typically do
they fight?
No, they don't.
Because
they know each other.
These teams don't fight.
So they don't. So they avoid that, and they deal with the, you know, like they deal with the large impact, and of course, Virtue and Vice kind of alludes to the theme of the story, which I don't want to give away here. But you know, decisions have to be made, and what kind of choices do you make as heroes, and that sort of thing. It's got every classic character you can want, from Zatanna to Green Arrow, Black Canary.
All you Firestorm fans.
Firestorm.
Ronnie Raymond.
A lot of the classic JSA characters like Dr. Fate and Hawkman and the Stripes girl, you know.
Stars and Stripes.
Yeah, but the girl,
Liberty Bell.
Stripey, whatever. No, not Liberty Bell.
Oh, Liberty Bell's
Stripes, yeah. And Black Adam is on the JSA at this point. This is before 52 when Black Adam went. Woo.
Oh.
So so it's really good, and the great thing is that it's contained. It wasn't collected in issues. It was done in this format, and so it's just a lot of fun.
Beautiful.
This is also back when Black Canary was on the Look at the JSA roster. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 people.
Well, the JLA wasn't that bad either. I mean, they was kind of expanded, you know.
Right.
So
Star Spangled Kid.
Star Spangled Kid, that's what it is.
Vixen.
This is back when Black Canary was on the JLA. So was Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
So was Captain Marvel.
And
Black Adam. You got Black Adam and Captain Marvel?
Yeah.
Overkill.
Possibly.
It's like having
He almost threw your hardcover.
Almost.
He was like, both of them?
I like it. It's like hardcover. And also, just on an aside, DC a couple of years ago redesigned their logo.
Yeah.
And I remember when it came out, a lot of us were very critical of it. But I haven't seen the old logo in a while. And I was like, new logo's not that bad.
Looks a little antiquated.
Yeah, it was a little antiquated. So it's interesting.
But that's good old fun superhero time.
Yeah, it is. It is good old-timey superhero fun in a modern 21st century.
Better than the most recent JSA, JLA crossover?
Yes.
Well, there you go. So if you were less than satisfied with that story, there's this one for you.
A modern take on the JLA, JSA crossover.
Kyle Rayner fans, he's in there.
Jeff Johns is apt to do
Probably being a punk.
the modern retelling.
This is pre-Hal Jordan?
Yes, this is pre the rebirth.
Yeah. All right. So, cool. So,
comics.
These are just 3 comics that we've enjoyed recently. If you've got one that you want to recommend us to check out, talk about maybe in a future show, you can email us at contact@ifanboy.com, or you can call and leave us a voicemail at 1-888-FANBOYS. That's 326-2697.
Or if you wanted to talk about any of these books or books like them or other books or any kind of comics or just anything, you can go to ifanboy.com where there's all sorts of different conversations going on. There's a post for this show and for the pick of the week and all that stuff. You can go to the forums at revision3.com/ifanboy. There's a link to the forums there for more discussion. Great community. Go and join them. They're very friendly.
Yeah.
Oh, hello. I don't know if you know, but we've got iFanboy t-shirts. I didn't know until they walked into the offices wearing them one day. It's like, what the hell's going on?
And he was like, can I get one? And we were like, and we walked away.
Oh, this?
Yeah. So if you would like an iFanboy t-shirt, you can go to jinx.com/ifanboy, get them there. If you buy one, send us in a picture if you're wearing it. Send it in to jinx.com. They send you stickers.
Exactly.
They just they say, here, take them.
Sign language for stickers.
This is handing you stickers. Who doesn't like stickers?
I love stickers.
There you go.
Oh,
Jinx.com/ifanboy.
Are we going to run out of books to talk about in these kind of shows?
I hope not, because then we're out of a job.
Next week, I'm talking about Northwest Passage.
I'll be talking about Leading Man.
Can I pick a different book?
That's a good book! Ronald, lead us off.
Josh Silver.
Oh.
I'll count
Josh,
it in.
lead us
You
off.
didn't do that.
I'm editing it, so I'm only screwing myself here.
3,